welcome to Let Jaime Talk. I just barely got my hello out there. Should have warmed up my voice a little bit and done some vocal exercises.
I mean, you do that a lot. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Let Jaime Talk.
So it's an early morning in the tiny house studio, and it is Brett in the hot seat running the controls again. So, you never know what you're going to see.
Not Ben, I guess.
You did a good job last week.
Ben has taken over the bakery, running, which he does every day anyways. The front of the house, primarily. His wife runs the back of the house, so he doesn't wear an apron, just so you know.
He doesn't?
No.
He should.
I mean
I wear an apron.
He's
doing my job.
You're right. You're right. You do. That's I gave you an apron once, and I think you gave it away.
I did.
We just talked about that.
What do they say? Pay it forward.
Look, it's all good. It was a gift from my wife to me, and I gifted it to you.
You didn't tell her, did you?
I did, but only because I just don't use it.
She listens to the show.
She does. She'll probably comment, say, "Wait, what? Where'd that apron go?" Actually, she gifted me a different apron one time, and she took it.
Well,
so maybe I'm just not an apron guy.
Well, maybe not. Here's what I promote. Go pick your own apron so that you'll like it.
And do you prefer the leg split apron?
I never had a leg split apron.
I don't know that that's the right term, but you know what I'm talking about, right? With the seam.
I like solid front.
Yeah.
So in case nobody knows what we're talking about an apron that I wear in the wood shop.
Yeah.
For doing fine woodworking more or less in a shop setting where I need my pencils in the front, and I've got my tape measure in my pocket and other little gadgets that I need, along with my remote for my vacuum. I have a big vacuum system in the shop. And so there's a picture of...
Hold on, I'm going to get it up.
Okay.
How old are you in this? Jeez.
I don't know. Is this on here?
It's not on yet. Let me find the apron. Keep going. Sorry,
well, all right. Brett's looking for a video of ours where we look really young, and I'm wearing my apron. But anyway, I've had the same apron. It's a Lee Valley apron. Oh, that's a great look for me right there.
Hold on.
All right. Get it figured out.
There you go. Okay, so that's on. There you go.
Wow, look at that.
It's the same apron, though.
Now, even though that looks really dirty, it looks really clean compared to what it looks like now. And I have the same apron. And I still have those chairs. Those are chairs I made out of cherry. They're in that exact same state of completion now.
Oh, my gosh.
I have them sitting on a shelf.
Oh, my gosh.
So they're due to be complete.
Were they for your boys or...
No, what it is so...
Wait, did you only have 2 kids when you did this? You're young.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I still have fingers, so I probably had 2 kids. That's the only way I can judge
that's true.
The time.
Man, that's brutal. Thanks.
Well, it's a reality for me.
Yeah. When you count, you only count to 6.
That's right. I guess I said that. I don't remember saying that, but I think I did.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me just say this. Our dining room is like 10 by 14, I think, in my house, and we've got 6 chairs. No, wait. Yeah. 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when we have company every now and then, we need like 2 more chairs sometimes, and I don't have 2 more chairs. So I'd be like going outside getting the patio furniture, which is terrible, and a different height. So you're like, the dining table is like, it's very bad. So I thought, I'll make 2 chairs. Well, then I got all complicated with it, and on the back of that, it's like finger jointed looking, angled, like this at a 10-degree angle, and I just never had it in me to finish them, and I still don't.
So what are you doing in the dining room? You just don't have guests.
We just quit having company. That was easier.
Yeah, you had another kid. There's no more room.
No, we don't have time to entertain anymore. Yeah. Well, today we're gonna get down to business so we can get on with this episode. What we're gonna do is go through some more comments, because this is, I think, a really fun thing to do, and there's so much good material in the comments section of Perkins Builder Brother videos, and also our own videos now, these podcast videos, and the Let Jaime Talk in the Wild videos that I'm reading all the comments there too. So thank you to everybody putting comments, because that is generating lots of discussion for us. So can we paint the picture of the scene of what these comments come out of a video? What is it like at the job? And you actually have been there.
Yeah.
And why don't you just go ahead and bring everybody up to date on what the setting is.
You want me to bring everybody up? Let's see.
I need to drink some coffee. You go ahead.
Let's see.
Take your time.
All right. Well, I am definitely not Jaime Perkins, so I don't have the ability to just ramble.
You got it.
Talk. Educate people.
Oh.
Let's see. Well, there's been a lot going on. The decks, I think, is what we're going to get to, but there's a couple of cool things that I thought. Number one, you have gravel. Okay.
I love gravel.
Which is a big deal, and I don't think you guys understand how much Jaime loves being out of the mud.
I love being out of the
mud. I should have zoomed in on your face just then.
Oh, it's okay. It's all you.
So we're going to bring, we got gravel coming in. We got decks coming in, which was a big step because I know we've talked about this several times. It's out of order, right? But other things have happened. Some stucco's happening inside or lath and plaster, right? Drywall, you name it. But the decks, I think, is where we're going to head next, which there's a lot of prep. And maybe you can talk about why some of that prep and why some of the things maybe happened. Like, why did all the joists go wonky? Not all of them, but a handful. Because some of them crowned and bowed in directions they shouldn't have. And would that have happened? If. But anyway, how's that?
That was really good.
No, I don't know. That's coming from a guy that literally comes on the job site like once a month. So when I get to show up, it's like, wow, look at all the stuff that's been done. It's not just like little pieces at a time.
Right. Yeah, the everyday progress is not as significant, of course. And so that must be nice to show up and be like, wow, there's a lot of things done, a lot of new to look at.
Yeah.
That's what I hope for, actually, for my homeowners when, after a week has gone by, maybe they haven't been to the job, and we clean up pretty good on Fridays or Thursdays. And, we try to make everything clean, haul the trash or whatever, sweep, vacuum, pick up all the pieces of scrap materials laying around, because we want our homeowner to walk in and say, wow, this is clean, but also it makes a great working environment. And, a lot of times the homeowner might want to bring some friends over and show them, hey, this is my house. And, you don't want it to look like a total trash hole.
No,
I don't. I personally don't. I can't stand it.
It's just a lack of respect for the project.
So, all right. So you've painted the picture pretty well. Let's jump into some comments. And, well, this wasn't a comment, but I'm looking at a picture on my phone of when I screenshotted a comment here, and I built a little table, a temporary work table. One thing I can't stand is working like on the ground, like when you're trying to cut boards and you don't have a set of sawhorses or even a good tailgate to work on or whatever. I will stop what I'm doing and build a sawhorse or build a workbench table. We had a lot of like short pieces of tongue and groove material left. Oh, is that it right there?
That is it.
All right. We had a ton of scraps, and so I grabbed a finish nail gun, actually Jono's, and cut a bunch of these pieces super fast and literally shot this thing together in like 5 minutes. And then I had a fantastic little work table that everybody made fun of.
Why?
This will last the ages, this table.
It'll at least last his job.
Yeah, it will. It's beautiful. It's strong. It's flat. It's everything you want. And I love it.
That's a good truck advertisement going on in the background. Let's see. Dodge, Toyota.
There's another Dodge in the back. The silver one.
3 Dodges.
Dodge beats Toyota 3-1.
Well, maybe because they're cheaper. Less expensive, that is.
Well, okay. All right, so this first comment's about tools. Now, we talk a lot about tools, and we love tools, and we need tools. And it's a great topic of discussion among the crew, not just for us on videos. And the idea of which battery-powered tool brand is best.
I don't know.
Now, we could just leave it to this one comment for the whole episode today.
I don't know that we have that much time.
Well, okay. So Max decided to ask the AI chat GBT, what is the best brand? And they said there is no best brand. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Although I think other people's AI searches did indicate there was a brand, but I don't know if it came up with the same answer with each person.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. So we're using primarily Milwaukee right now. And I think that's debatably one of the top brands, obviously. And I think one of the best things about Milwaukee is that they have a very large selection of tools, like from, carpentry and construction to auto mechanics and beyond. Now, not every tool brand is going to hit the auto mechanics category as well. So I'm a big fan of Milwaukee. I'm a big fan of Makita.
You used Bosch, right? Or Makita. You used Makita for a long time. The Makita, it didn't weigh a lot, though. That was nice.
Yeah.
I remember that. But maybe it's just because it was a smaller drill.
And
for the most part.
One of the comments, I'll skip over it if I see it again. The best brand is the one you have batteries for.
Amen. I was about to say that. I can't switch.
No, because you're in too deep. What do you have?
DeWalt.
You're DeWalt.
Yep. And there's things I like about it and things I don't, but I can't switch. I have 10 batteries.
You got chainsaw.
I do. I've got hedge trimmer, chainsaw. I've got like a big heavy powered impact drill for for car work. I've got small little electric socket. What's that called?
I think it's a
driver, but it's sideways. It's a socket,
like a ratchet, like a power ratchet, maybe.
I've got that in 2 different sizes because one's a 1/2 inch, one's a 3/8. And then I've got all the basics, the drill and impact drill, and I've got sawzalls, but it's the batteries. It's like having an iPhone versus being Android.
Wow. No better way to bring people together and divide people. But and it's bigger than just what are your tools for your job, like a saw and a drill and I carry a grinder and we call it a buzz saw.
I've got a grinder,
oscillating tool. But it gets into your home, like your yard equipment.
It does now, for sure.
Battery powered blowers, hedge trimmers, like I said, chainsaw. I've got a battery pole saw.
Yeah, which I need to borrow and have yet to see. Oh wait, I actually own half of that.
You do own half. Oh well, all right. We went in together, bought a pole saw because they're expensive.
They are. Yeah.
All right then.
So you like the Milwaukee though? I mean, I think that somebody, not to continue on this, but somebody actually commented maybe an episode ago or so about not having good tools and finally realizing I need to upgrade because he couldn't cut through a board. It took him 3 passes to cut through a 1-inch board.
Okay, that's a problem.
He took, not that you guys are giving advice on what tools to buy, but he said all these guys are using Milwaukee, so he went out and got it, and he is absolutely in love with it.
I bet. Well, I will tell you a short story.
And we're not sponsored by. This is not sponsored by.
No,
this is just what the guys use.
We don't get paid by any tool brand to have their tools.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we had Flex tools for a while from, I think that was Lowe's house brand.
Yep.
And they were really good. I actually really like the Flex tools too.
They were heavy though.
Okay. They were, and some of the batteries were dying. And that's why I got out of them.
Yeah, there you go.
But you cannot expect the batteries to last forever. They are a consumable, if you will. Just like saw blades go dull and you throw them away. Yeah. Eventually those batteries need replaced, no matter what brand you buy. So find a brand you like that's available to you. That's what I say. And on the topic of a saw that won't cut a board, a long time ago, I mean, more than 10 years ago, I got a Porter Cable battery power drill set from like my buddy. And they're still going, but the saw, so I have the drills, you know, in my shop, of course.
Oh yeah, I know.
I've got these 3 Porter Cable battery powered drills. And they keep going, and they have cheap homeowner grade batteries. They're not like professional job site level. You would never compare them to a true new professional one, especially 10 years old. Okay, the batteries won't die. They just keep going. Now, they're not very strong.
Yeah, they're not out in the job site all day long.
They stay in the shop. But it did have a skill saw in the set, okay? And it was like a 6 and a something size blade, 6.5. What are they? Not the full size, 7 1/4. And that saw with a brand new fresh charge on a battery would barely cut through one 1x6, and then it would be dead. And if people's idea of what a battery powered saw is that because that's what they have or that's what their buddy has, they're not going to think very highly of that type of tool as a useful, productive tool.
Yep.
But for us, we only use battery-powered saws for hand saws, really. We don't plug in a skill saw that's corded anymore. Ever. I mean, I do if I'm going to rip 15 2x12s down the length in there.
Yeah, because ripping will drain batteries faster than anything.
Yeah, ripping does. And one of the reasons that ripping does drain the battery worse is that the pinching of the wood happens when you're ripping. The board has stress in it a lot of times that will pinch and bind the blade. And it's like putting on the brakes on a car, on a disc brake.
And there's just not enough battery power to overcome that binding, pinching for a prolonged period of time. So crosscuts are like no problem. Zip, you're done. It stays at high RPM. It's great. We could talk all day about that.
I mean, we may as well, because I have a question. If we can do a deeper dive into this.
Okay.
Excuse me. So my DeWalt skill saw, which I've had for 10 years probably, it has a really high pitch. And so it has it spins super fast,
yes,
but it has less torque.
I know what you mean. Jason has DeWalt.
Right.
So, I can hear it now.
Right. It does. I mean, high pitch is all relative, but if you put it next to other saws, right, it has a faster.
I would say it is zinging.
Yes.
The sound of it is
Zing.
like.
And when you turn it off.
Oh, that may have been too loud. I'm sorry if I hurt your ears.
It was okay. Anyway, so can
what's
you
your
explain why? What's the difference? How do you know which one to buy? Do they say torque specs or spin or RPMs?
That's a good question. I'll say this. I'll just tell you what I know.
That's fine. That's all I'm asking.
It won't take long.
I'm not asking you to tell me what you don't know.
I won't tell you what I don't know. I will say the smaller blade size, is it 6.5? I don't even know. Whatever. I should have brought my computer, Brett. You're going to have to look it up. It doesn't even matter, but you can look it up anyways. The 6.5-inch blade saws don't seem to spin that fast, whether it's a Makita, a DeWalt. They feel and sound slow. I don't know why that is, but when you jump up to the 7.25 full-size blade, in almost all of them, they sound fast. They just keep ramping up in speed. And I would say the DeWalt sounds the fastest, and I don't know if it is, but what happens is your blade speed at the tooth, the actual cutting edge of the blade, they're really trying to get that high. And you can imagine if the two saws ran at the same speed, the 7.25 and the 6.5, that the 7.25 blade speed is faster because it's a larger diameter, traveling a longer distance in the same amount of time. That tooth is coming at the wood faster. And whether that's good or not, it depends on whether the saw has the power and torque to maintain that blade speed. A lot of the saws now, the newest ones have some sort of computer built in basically that can modulate the RPMs. It can adjust the speed of the blade according to the load that you're putting into it, and it can maximize the battery life and your productivity. Okay. Now old school battery stuff, whatever, it's what it is. It is you're pushing hard. It's slowing down. The saw is not compensating for that. But now, and some of the saws like that, and other tools, I'm going to say, maybe not even just saws, they have a little indicator light that might tell you when you're pushing at the right speed to get the maximum.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost like a tuner on a guitar tuner. If you're sharp or flat, when you're in the middle, it shows green, you're going,
most
that's
efficient,
not
whatever. I got you.
Yeah. So the indicator will tell you, hey, you're cutting at the correct speed for whatever the wood is. Like if it's a soft, super thin wood, obviously you could cut super fast. So it's not about the speed. It's about the cut of whatever material you're cutting. So sure. A fast blade's good.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sounds good. Which one are you using?
I am using, I think that one right there, which is a traditional.
And again, this is just us talking. We're not sponsored by or anything. We're just letting you guys know what Jamie's got.
Yeah. No, that's what I use right there. That's a traditional, like right-handed saw, I'm going to call it. And it seems like most of the 7.25 are like a right-handed old school saw where you're holding the handle with the blades to the right of your hand.
Yep.
And traditionally, I like that because I'm right-handed in the way I stand at a little cut station or a sawhorse. And if I'm cutting off on the right side of the board, I like that the base of the saw, the base plate, and the majority of the weight of the saw and the physical space of the base plate, there's more contact and you're sitting on the piece that is not waste. And it's more stable for when you're cutting off the offcut. So maybe pull up a 6.25 or 6.5 if you can back up and find one that's opposite. There you go. Now we have some of these too. I don't have the smaller one. What does it say? 6.5. Great. Mm-hmm. You'll notice that this one, the blade is on the other side of the handle. Mm-hmm. And so you only have 1.5 inches of the base plate on your keeper, I'll call it. And your waist piece falls off, and most of the saw is sitting on the waist. Mm-hmm. And whenever I'm cutting, whether I'm ripping or cross-cutting, I like to have that saw, the majority of it, the weight of it, and not have to control how much of it is going to fall off with the waist It just, boom, you plunk it down and the saw is sitting on your board and it's all you're doing is pushing it forward and steering,
Yeah.
It is good to have both though. There are definitely situations where you want to have one of each because you might have a odd cut. You need to make in a certain bevel on a certain, like when you're cutting rafters and let's say they're going into a dormer and they're getting shorter and shorter and you're cutting bevel cuts on both sides and you're cutting both rafters for somebody up there nailing it together.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to keep flipping your saw left and right. And sometimes it matters when you're coming into your cut, whether the blade engages immediately on the corner of the board or whether it doesn't based on where your line is drawn and the angle. And that may not really paint a super clear picture, but the idea is it's great to sometimes have both.
Yeah.
Like I would keep a left-handed and a right-handed saw if I had the choice.
Yeah. Understood. I totally agree. And I'm a novice carpenter and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Or at least two saws of any kind.
Yeah. So you can have them set up.
Yeah. Because you can save you so much time, especially doing bevel cuts, or depth, special depth cuts. If you're doing a process over and over, you can't be switching the saw every time.
It's like switching a drill bit.
Right.
I got to drill this hole. I got to pre-drill and then like, oh God, just give me 2 drills because that's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we have 3 and 4 drills out.
Yeah.
Like
doing the
decking. This is a good example.
For sure. There's drills laying all over the deck. Let's bring it back around. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I appreciate that. I'm going to get you back on the camera so I can fiddle with the video here. But go ahead.
So we're using a power planer in a lot of these, this video 107 and 108, where we're actually flattening the pressure treated wood joists that are bowed up. Sorry, my voice did weird when I said bowed up. I just, for some reason, that made me.
Did you go to the gym this morning?
I did not, but I went to the track.
You gonna bow up?
Went to the gym a couple days in a row this week. Feeling pretty ripped.
All right.
Wow.
All right. So we got a planer bowed up.
Yeah. So my planer, my DeWalt planer. Now the DeWalt planer, the electric one. Oh, it's there in the shot. I don't know. I never know what's on the screen because you guys don't give me access to know what's on the screen. Brett's got his computer there. And he's the only one that knows what you guys see.
DeWalt planer. See it it's on the ground right here. I'll point. Give
a
little pointer. Now that is a plug-in, non-battery.
That is, and it runs great and all that. But it's not just the DeWalt, but some other brands also. I've had a problem where if you hit a nail or something very hard, even a knot, a hard pine knot can dull your blades, but it can also bend your blade if you go reaming wide open into one with a super deep cut, like a depth of cut that's deep, and you just ream it out. You can bend the blades or break them or dent them. And if you deform the blade and it gets bent back a little bit, then it'll pull away from, I don't know what the part of the shaft is where the blades screw onto.
Okay.
The cutter head, but we'll call it the cutter head. Yeah. If there's a little spot where a splinter can get between the blade and the cutter head, then wood chips will begin to pack in there. And this is very bad. If you notice, hey, my planer's doing weird, and you look and there's wood stuck behind the blades, you should stop using that tool and unplug it and take it apart. You can sometimes get the wood chips out by taking the blades out and then put it back together. But if the blades are bent, I mean, listen, I have hammered my blades flat a lot of times to get by in a pinch. I never end up getting a good result, though. I end up with the same problem about 10 minutes later. Mm-hmm. But sometimes that's enough to get me through the day. So I actually just bought a new planer because the next morning I needed to be planing wood and I didn't have access to blades. Mm. And as a matter of fact, there's a little keeper that screws down over the blade, has 3 bolts in it, and it's bent too.
Ouch.
So even if, blades are not super uncommon to see on the shelf, but they're becoming more difficult to find, these replacement blades. Okay, I know this is getting long, but the little keeper, when it's bent too, that's the thing that presses it down tight to the cutter head and keeps everything tight. And if that's bent, then you're just out of luck. So I got on Amazon, I ordered more of the little keepers, and I called the hardware store down here at Elder's Ace, and I had to special order the blades.
Golly.
And they had them in a couple days.
Why is it getting so hard to buy the parts?
They actually did me a good solid. They actually started stocking that blade now instead of just getting me a special order. Mm. There is a SKU and there is a hook on the shelf.
It says Jamie's Blades.
And I bought 2 packs and there's 2 more packs hanging there. So if there's any other poor carpenters in Bryson City that needs a set of these Makita blades, there they are. And as a matter of fact, when I bought the DeWalt, for some reason, like, I don't know why I bought the DeWalt, but I just bought it. I needed one. So there it was. I noticed that the cutter head and the blades and the blade keeper was exactly the same as the Makita that I had for years. That was my dad's, and finally the bearings burned out of it, and I didn't think it was worth servicing it because the whole rest of the machine was all beat up and banged up and crooked.
Sure, at some point.
Yeah, at some point the whole machine is pretty trashed, and I said, okay, it was time for a new one. Bought the DeWalt, and I was like, wow, this looks like a Makita inside. Weird. And it's actually good because that means, the interchangeable parts is great. And I still like to use, we're not going to get to any other comments probably because this is going to go on for a while. This is stupid sounding maybe, but I prefer the high-speed steel blades that you can sharpen. And I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because they're going to get dull. That's what I said.
They get dull.
They going to get dull. And what are you going to do about it when they get dull?
I'm going to throw them away.
Well, most people do. There's disposable carbide blades, and they're really thin. I mean, they're just like a little strip.
Sure.
And they're reversible, though. So if they get dull, you can unscrew the thing and flip it. Great, you're going sharp again. But the bad thing about them is if you break one, the whole blade is shot. Like if you hit a nail or screw something really hard.
Sure, it's done.
The carbide is brittle compared to the high-speed steel, and so the blade may shatter into 5 pieces, and you unscrew it, and the pieces all fall out. You're done. The high-speed steel blades, they get dented up and dull, but they won't fall apart. Mm-hmm. And so you can take them home and sharpen them. I am lucky that I have a sharpener that's really nice, made for planer blades, and not just like little short ones. These are 3 1/4 long, and that's very small. You could sharpen those by hand. You could even sharpen them with a handheld grinder, like you're sharpening your lawnmower blades, as long as you have the little tool to reset the knife at the right location.
Okay.
There's a little piece of metal that's like a little angle iron looking piece, a little tiny little piece that screws to the blade itself. The blade has 2 holes that are threaded, and these short little screws, and that indicates and aligns the blade back into the cutter head at the exact right distance. Okay, and then you put the keeper over top of it and lock it down. It's actually a super great system because no matter how much you grind off the blade, you can relocate it in its perfect position.
I'm feeling a Jamie in the Wild.
Okay.
Like, now, the man loves to sharpen blades.
I like sharp stuff. Okay, because it makes your job easy.
It does. I understand that.
Now,
I can feel you there.
Without going into too crazy detail, I don't know if people understand and can appreciate if that piece wasn't there, the little indicating piece that locks into a channel, and you get the blade set just right. Shop equipment like a jointer and a planer, they have a cutter head just like this, just bigger, right? Mm-hmm. In a stationary machine. And if you've ever tried to set the knives in a planer, you would feel my pain right now in the idea that you're trying to get the knife in the perfect location, and they have these special tools called a magnet set, I think, where it's got magnets that are supposed to stick to the blade, and then it's got a curved part that actually sits on the cutter head at the right diameter and the right location, and while it's being suspended by the magnets, you tighten the screws and fix it in place. I have never had luck with that. It's terrible. Or you're doing some manual adjustments there's these little riser blocks in the back edge of the blade that can push the blade out of the cutter head. So you drop it in, you snug it up a little bit, and then you push it back up. And then you're using a straight edge across the table on your jointer and trying to rotate the blade and get it to just barely nick a straight edge on both edges of the blade. Dude, it is a nightmare. I hate it. And what's crazy is that somebody very smart has designed this head to have this little keeper with a gauge where you just reset it, you tighten it down, you drop it in, you're done. There's no thinking. There's no wondering if you got it right or set too heavy or not enough. And why don't they do that on a bigger scale for some larger machines where you don't have to fiddle with it like nuts? It drives me crazy. So, and maybe the real solution is that both of my machines that were like that, I ended up switching to a carbide index little head that, like a Sheelix or a Bird head. And so you don't ever do that again. You have individual little carbide teeth. Actually, by the way, my jointer, remind me when we go to the shop, if we're doing a video, I got a tooth that broke in the jointer, And because I was playing in a board or joining a board, and I heard it go, I was like, "Wow, that's weird. This is not normal. Something has happened just now, like during my cut." And I turned it off, and I looked at my board, and there was a giant groove in my board.
What? From what?
From one of the teeth, and they're little square teeth. They're about maybe 5/8 by 5/8 or half by half, and they have 4 sharp sides, and you can rotate them when they get dull, so you get 4 uses out of each tooth. But they are also brittle in the machining of the head where they seat in there. If it's not perfect and you tighten that screw to a certain torque spec, man, it'll break them sometimes. And or they'll break if they hit something. Or like a hard...
Can they twist too? Don't they twist?
They could twist.
Yeah.
They
sometimes
could twist.
they're not all perfectly aligned.
So one of mine is bad. And the danger is a piece of it could fly out of there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a broken piece flying at however fast, that's very dangerous. And so I need to fix it.
Yeah.
I need to order new.
Don't ignore the sounds of your machines.
Yeah. And I had
They're telling you something.
I had ear protection on just like always. You know, even if I didn't hear it, I could feel it. You know?
Yeah.
And so pay attention. If you think something's a little off, it probably is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like that guy couldn't cut through a 1-inch board with 3 passes from a circular saw. That may be more than just the blade. But sometimes it is just the blade.
Sometimes
I mean,
it
if
could
you
be.
give your dad a blade for an hour, it'll come back with no teeth.
My dad will use stuff, including a razor knife and a utility knife, until the blade's visibly gone.
Yeah. Well, that's your dad, not your stepdad. Though.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story.
All right.
All right, let's get to some comments.
Okay.
But I am feeling a Jaime in the Wild. We're gonna sharpen some blades.
Okay.
I don't know what yet, but we'll find something.
Okay. I could go on about the handheld planer, but let's save it for some other time because there'll be some more.
Yeah, no, that's a whole episode. And I mean, I love listening to it.
That's a great tool.
I can't be the only one.
I mean, I love it. I love talking about it.
Well, let me rephrase that. I love listening to you talk about it. Hearing a hand planer on a job site is up there with the top 5 worst sounds on the planet.
Well, it depends.
I would recreate it right now, but I'd probably scare everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to leave it to the imagination of the listener here.
Yeah.
I actually...
You want to make the sound, don't you?
No. I actually love the sound of a sharp blade cutting. Like whether it's the joiner, a planer, one of these handheld planers, it just makes a, kind of sound.
Not a...
It's an enjoyable, like, the thing is working right sound. And then when they get dull though, now that is the sound. It's very bad. It's very bad. On my big planer in the shop, is 20 inches wide. And, in general, you might send more material through the center of the machine, just in working quickly.
Sure.
But what you'll find is that it starts getting dull in the center of the machine, and you haven't dulled the edges, the 3 or 4 inches on the sides. And so when I'm doing narrow material, I will always put it on the side and use all the, because you're throwing away sharpness. If you're like, it's too dull, but the edges are not dull.
Makes sense.
That's not right.
Yeah.
To throw away sharpness. But at any rate, the sound, when you shove a board through that nearly new sharp edge, it sounds beautiful. And you can take the same board and move it over 6 inches in the dull part, and it sounds like the worst thing you ever heard. All right. Glad we got that out of the way.
All right. Let's go. We've got some comments.
All right. So, yeah.
Wait, I think we've hit 1.
Well, that'll happen sometimes on a channel this big.
Yeah.
All right. So the idea here, just a big picture of this, the pressure treated wood that we frame these decks with is wet when you get it. And I mean, super wet. I mean, like, how wet they are. They literally, you could wring the water out of them. When you cut it, water runs out the end. When you pick it up, you get slime all over your hands and your clothes. And they
running a drill in.
Yeah. It literally, water shoots out of it.
Or screw in.
If you drop one, water squirts out of it. All right, great. You get the point. And so they will begin to dry. They go from being flat packed tight in a bundle where they cannot dry to being fully exposed around 4 sides when you put it up in a floor joist. And it's beginning to dry. Now, it will take a long time for that water to come out, but these joists have been there for almost a year. They're getting pretty dry. And so when the wood dries, it sometimes will bow or twist or the internal stresses of the wood will equalize, whatever that might mean. And so some of them bow up and some of them bow down. Some of them stay perfectly straight and have equal stresses and just do right. For the ones that go high, we can easily plane them off, zip, 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 till we get flatness in the top. And the ones that bow down, though, they're a bigger problem because either you got to try to cut a tapered shim, which would be next to impossible, or at least in my mind, a dreadful task. Or there's two other options that we did repeatedly on this. If it's just bowed down a little bit, enough that you have to address it, you can take one end loose out of the joist hanger and raise that end up, say 1/4 to 3/8, reattach a joist hanger under it, and now you've raised it up enough to where you have some material to plane off. The other option is to, of course, we take both hangers off because it's impossible to save a joist hanger almost. You're using a grinder or a oscillating tool or a sawzall. It's getting gnarly. And you just totally pull the joist and flip it over and put the crown side up.
I was going to say, do you just reuse it?
We do if we can.
Yeah.
Because what if you get another wet one and you put it in? You don't know what's going to...
Well, you don't have 2x10s.
And they're expensive too. So these ones are already...
those 2x10s?
12, actually.
2x12s.
Yeah. So we would flip them over and then plane them off. Some of the comments were pointing out that now the bottoms of the joists are not anywhere flat to each other, especially if you flip one over that's really bowed, or if you raise one up 1/2 inch. And the answer is yes, you're right. They're not flat on the bottom now, but it's really no consequence. You can see it from underneath. If you really want to check it out, you could, but there's no material being fastened to the bottom. There's nothing hinging on that. So yes, and I'm not going to say that I like that they're maybe up and down on the bottom, but I love that they're flat on the top.
Yeah.
So
can I ask you a question about
it? Yeah.
So do you think that would have happened, or is it less likely to happen had you instantly installed the decking? Would the decking have provided enough rigidity to not allow for that to happen? Or is it going to happen anyway and it would have sucked the decking down? Or is that span not big enough? Does that make sense?
It does. This is a complicated question to answer because there is the idea that if you...
I was going to say, give me the simple answer, but that's not your style. Just kidding. Go for it.
Here's what I think of. When you dry kiln and air dry and dry kiln wood, which is the process that we're talking about, letting moisture leave the board and it will... Stresses in the wood will affect, if the board curves or bows. When the air dry... And when the kiln dry, it's sticker stacked, and it's good for it to have a lot of weight on the bundles till they're smashed flat and held in a perfectly flat position. Now, that may not help from side bowing if the board is flat, and we call that crowning, like a rainbow, but it will keep the board from being able to do this. And when it dries in a flat position, it's most likely to stay in that position. And so I think there is something to it, but what somebody suggested is actually just screwing like 2x4s across for a temporary, holding them all together. And I do believe that if they all dried in a perfect position, they would be more likely to stay in that position. If they went through the drying process and were not able to move, if they were, held in place. However, I don't think the decking hardly would provide that absolute rigid positioning during the drying process. I really don't. I think that because I've done decks myself and nice decks with composite decking, and I come back a year or two later and the homeowner says, "Hey, my deck is wavy," and the thing is, all right, we got to talk about this a little bit. For crowning, we always crown the joist up if it has a crown, or we'll call it like the rainbow kind of look. We call that a grain bow.
Man,
there you go.
Sticker time.
Yeah. So it only makes sense to bow it up so that if it's loaded with weight on it, that it might go flat. But definitely putting it upside down crown would be it sagging from the very moment you put it in. And nobody wants that. All right. Now, what if boards are flat and straight and they don't have a crown? Ooh, which way do you put it? Guess what? It doesn't matter because it's flat. Unless you can predict which way it's going to bow when it dries, your guess is as good as mine. Okay? So you have a combination of boards that are crowned up and flat. because we don't crown down. Mm-hmm. Okay, so those are the only options. And if you get super crazy boards, you chuck them out and you don't install them. All right, flat and crown up. Time goes by, the wood dries. Maybe some of the ones that were flat crown down, and maybe some crown up. Maybe it's 50-50. Maybe it's 33.3. Maybe some stay flat, some crown up, some crown down. Mm-hmm. And you can't control it, and you don't know which ones are which. And so that's a little bit of a risk that we're taking with the treated wood that's wet. Now, they make what I called KDAT on this episode. That's kiln dried after treatment. That just means they go ahead and kiln dry it again. Mm-hmm. And whatever bowing and warping it was going to do, it did already. So you're looking at a dried board. That's great. It does cost more, and it's not available everywhere. So we typically go with the least expensive, most available option, which is wet pressure treated wood. And also a lot of other comments, and I can't even list and read them all. We're suggesting to buy treated in bulk, sticker stack it yourself and let it dry. Have your own air drying, because air drying is sufficient for letting the initial greatest amount of moisture to leave the board. It doesn't need a dry kiln. It doesn't, whatever. I don't have a place to air dry kiln or wet wood.
Yeah.
I don't have a facility. I don't have a parking lot. I don't have a space. I don't have the money to just go buy bulk material and hope that this is what I need for my next job.
Yeah.
Now,
Especially on a job like this.
If it's for you and your own job and you know the material and you know the quantity and you want to buy it ahead of time and sticker it up, I don't think that's a bad idea. Mm-hmm. It is work. Yeah. It is work. Yeah. So are you willing to do the work to handle that material more times and have it stored somewhere? Or would you rather say, well, my time is worth a certain amount, I'm going to go buy the slightly more expensive wood? Mm. And that's up for you to decide. On the same topic of joists, there's all kinds of metal options that I have never used. Galvanized steel and aluminum.
I mean, can you use LVLs?
Well, another comment, and I'll skip it if I get to it, is why do we even use treated wood on decks that is not touching the ground? It's under a roof. It's not getting rained on. Why not use regular
money?
Maybe. I will say the short answer for me is building code. I'm not allowed to use the non-pressure treated joist on a deck. Now, we own houses that are 100 years old, and they're framed with non-treated wood. They did not invent pressure-treated wood.
And they used interior flooring, tongue and groove.
They did.
Outside.
And as long as it's well protected and covered, it actually lasts just fine.
I mean, yeah, on the Pine Cottage, we probably, if there was a gutter, we probably wouldn't even have had to have fixed the ones that you did fix.
So I would even dare say, I don't think you do need to use treated wood, but they were selective about what kind of wood they would have used.
Sure.
It would have been hemlock or...
it's more rot resistant.
Maybe some kind, maybe cedar or Douglas fir or what's another, redwood. Mm-hmm. There are woods that are not treated that may be actually allowed to pass, but
yeah,
we use treated wood. That's just kind of what the industry standard is, and you
do your best.
We do. Okay, so there you go.
You fix it. I mean, like you guys did. The video doesn't show you a true representation of how long it took you to actually fix it. So, I mean,
right.
I think Eric said, we've been working for 4 or 5 hours, something like that.
Right.
And we haven't even put a board down. And that was on one section.
Yes. Each section, we're doing this section by section.
Yeah.
And it is a long and somewhat painful process to endure. But
if
you don't, though, it's so bad.
Instantly noticeable.
Imagine that, this span that we're doing is 14 to 16 feet. There could easily be one that's a ½ inch high. Mm. And what if there's one right beside it that's a ½ inch low and they're 16 inches apart from each other? And you would have a 1 inch slope in 16 inches. Mm-hmm. It's unacceptable. You physically couldn't attach the wood down tight to those locations.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It is so bad and so common.
Yeah.
Maybe a way to semi-prevent or decrease this is to use shorter spans by breaking your framing up into shorter spans somehow.
What are you at, 16?
That was 12 to 14.
I was going to say that looks smaller than 16.
Yeah, the one I mean, the 16 inches on center, another choice, and this was in the comments as well, is to use a 12-inch on center joist spacing. That doesn't fix the problem, but...
That would help with the waviness that the decking itself is prone to, regardless.
Right.
The sagging.
Yes, but it doesn't keep joists from bowing if you have more of them.
Right. That doesn't solve that problem.
No. So, okay. Somebody says here, John Haywood says, check out composite lumber for deck joists. It stays straight and costs more. I have never used a composite framing member on a deck.
Maybe on a small deck you can try it, so it doesn't cost like exponentially more. This house, I don't know what, there's 4,000 square feet of decking or something like that.
Dexponentially?
Oh, geez.
Shoot, that's a lot.
Yes.
I have never seen it in the lumberyard at the hardware store. I've never seen it on a truck going to somebody's job site. It's probably a special order.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to skip on through. We sort of addressed some of these comments here. So, okay. We've said this a lot. A lot of times our audience in the comments, they're not necessarily in the U.S. and there's different tools available in different countries, I guess. And so this is circling back to the tool thing just super fast. But somebody says the brand Mayfell, Mafell, and Festool and Hilti. So these are some other brands. We don't see them a lot. I mean, for us, Hilti, the only thing that we know of for Hilti is like concrete related, like nailers or saws, maybe.
Yeah, like a big, not a jackhammer, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I don't associate Hilti brand with contractor, carpenter tools other than like concrete fastening. I don't know. Maybe they have a lot more. Maybe there's a lot more to Hilti. And then Festool. And Festool I just regard as a fine woodworking brand. Okay, well, maybe Hilti does have more. Brett's pulling up some tools. But so anyway, that's fun to see, though, because there are tons of other tool brands that we don't even get to look at. Okay. And also Rigid, the brand Rigid that, is at Home Depot. They're called in this comment by Telefrag 93551, the Forgotten Tool line. Sorry. And the one that I'm into, Deep. So
exactly the same problem you and I have.
But I got to say something. Now, I have never owned any Rigid battery tools, but my electrician only uses Rigid battery tools. And he has how many trucks does this guy have? You know him.
I mean, he's got 3 work trucks and then his runaround.
At least. So,
his little Nissan hardbody that's what's that called?
Rhino line.
Rhino line. The whole thing is Rhino line.
Yeah, it's held together with the Rhino lining.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine this. He's a business owner, right? He's an electrician. He's got 3 or 4 service trucks with crew in them. And each truck is fully loaded with all the appropriate tools. And he said that he bought the Rigid brand for all of his stuff. It all matches because they had some kind of lifetime guarantee on batteries. So if the battery goes dead, you get a free battery. What?
Yeah.
I don't know how a brand can afford to do that.
I don't either. But I bet you he also bought them because they sell that brand is what's sold at the electrical supply store in Waynesville.
Oh,
which is where he goes all the time.
Well, that may be. And you know what?
That's fine. That's convenient for him. He's there all the time. Oh, I need this. I need this tool.
So whether it is or isn't the best brand, it is the best brand for him.
Absolutely.
If his supplier has it and they give him a free battery every time he brings in a dead battery.
Yeah. And they use a lot of the smaller little handheld 12-volt guys, I think. They have a lot of those. And then they have the big boring drill. So that's an important tool for him to have. So maybe the guys like that one best, to run through 2x4s and 2x6 walls.
To cut through trusses and LVLs?
No. I didn't say that. We're never going to see you do that, Nathan.
Well,
how's Jared? Anybody heard from Jared?
I need to call Jared. I thought of him the other day.
Yeah.
He's one of my electricians that moved away to West Virginia.
Yeah.
I need to call Jared and say what's up. Okay. A lot of the work that we're doing is kneeling down on the deck and the deck framing and installing the finished deck surface. And we were trying to use some knee pads, and we had all kinds of weird stuff to kneel down on. And apparently the whole world's mad at us for not having knee pads on like on our pants or our strap-on knee pads. And I personally really dislike having to wear knee pads because they're always falling off or pinching your back of your leg and they're uncomfortable. We do have True Work pants though that have knee pads in them. And in this video, we're all wearing shorts. And so it was too warm for pants, I guess. Yeah, we should have knee pads. I agree. My knees do hurt if I have to use like bend down on my knees for any extended period of time. Definitely uncomfortable, and I feel it later. I should not be doing that now. I don't know if you can actually hurt yourself like over time, like from kneeling down too long, like your kneecaps.
Don't know. I doubt you probably hurt. You're probably not going to hurt your kneecaps.
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't feel good.
Well, that's a fact.
The moral of the story is we should be using knee pads more, or you got to bend over. And right now my back hurts because I spent a couple hours yesterday running a floor edging sander, not to sand a finished floor, but to sand the subfloor. And my back hurts. Ugh.
I believe it.
All right, there you go. All right. So there was some comments about the boots. We had just got new boots, and I'm excited to say here that we got a Danner sponsorship for boots, and I'm wearing Danners right now. By the way, you can't see them. So that's just something cool. I mean, we've been wearing Danner boots for a long, long time, and I personally love Danner boots, and I have personally selected them for myself when I go buy boots over all the other brands that I've ever tried on. I like them.
Let's put it this way. It's an easy sponsorship.
Yeah, I mean, it might sound like an ad when we promote Danner boots. It's kind of like a commercial because that's kind of what it is. They sponsor us and all that. But we love Danner boots. So what's the deal?
Yeah,
I'll
give a shout out to Trey. Remember Trey?
I do remember Trey.
Trey's a Danner rep. We sell them at BC Outdoors.
That's nice.
But anyway, Trey came one time and he's a huge fan of the show, and he was able to meet Jaime. And actually, right after Jaime hurt his hand, Trey sent you some slip-ons.
Some slip-ons, yep.
Yep. I'm wearing them actually right now.
Oh, sweet.
Stick my foot up, but
that's nice.
It's an easy brand to rep when that's what you wear.
Yep. And my favorite one that I'm wearing right now is not a construction boot, but it's the Mountain 600. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And it is so comfortable.
There you go.
I wear them to work. All right, let's see your foot. You got the camera up?
I got the slip-ons.
Ooh, yeah.
The Chelsea, I think is what they call it.
How about that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see yours.
You really
can't. You hurt your back. The Mountain 600.
Oh, come on. I can do it. Oh, yeah. Give me some leg.
Look at that.
Look at that. These are green. The leather, it's got green leather, and these are my mowing boots. I'm like, they're already green.
Perfect.
I'm not going to cry when they get green on them. Okay. So, yeah, we are sponsored by Danner, and we love Danner. And so there's that. Okay. I'm going to search up another comment here that I haven't already addressed. Some of them I already did. I skipped ahead. Okay. Somebody says, I do have a question for the Let Jaime Talk channel. And this is from Builder Brothers channel. So thank you for being a crossover viewer here. We need to get more people to do that. All right. Did Max finally become full-time associate of the Perkins crew? And the answer is yes. He is a full-time employee. He is my employee of Perkins Enterprises Incorporated. But I said to him, now he's a young guy, just graduated college, got the whole world ahead of him. Like the world's his oyster and stuff, whatever that means. And, he had some other job opportunities that paid pretty good. I'm going to say even better than I can pay him. And he chose to come to work for us. I said, look, guy, you can do whatever you want. I mean, if you got a good opportunity somewhere, go do it. But I said, you stick it out here with me on this job let's finish this whole job out because this is a big job and I need help. And Max is doing a great job. So Max is officially my full-time employee. And when this job ends, I'm going to say, Max, you want to build another house or do you got something better to go do? And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
If you want to be here, I got a spot for you. And if you got something else that you want to do now, I mean, working for me, it's probably terrible, but, the guys have flexibility. If they're like, hey, I need a day off. Hey, I got to run here. I got to go do that. Whatever. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I don't care at all. It's like, Max is in a band and Upstream Rebellion is the name of it. They go play gigs. They need to leave. He needs to be going to a show. He needs to be here, there, whatever.
Yeah.
He can go. He can come and go. So You can have off whenever you want if you work for me.
I mean, it's always nice to have a new guy because you can just yell for him all the time, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Okay, here's a good question from James Gannon, perhaps is his name. Can you guys do the relief cut, in quotations here, system to flatten out the high spots in the pressure-treated joists? And he's asking, is it what it's called when you do that? And so, like if we have a stud in the wall and it's bowed out of the wall, okay, and all the other studs are straight, then that one we have to either plane it off or push it back. Now with a stud, unlike the deck framing, where the bottom side of the deck joist doesn't really matter, the height, the elevation, if it's flush, doesn't matter so much. A stud typically does matter because you're not just concerned about the one side that's in the room, the other side is part of something else, especially if it's an interior wall. The interior studs are more prone to bowing and warping when they dry because they're only dried down to 19 or 20% moisture content too. And, the finished moisture content of the wood that's in your house is going to be like less than 10%. Once you run AC and once it's acclimated and all the residual moisture dries out and it really just acclimates to its sort of permanent setting. If you put it in the desert, it's going to get drier. If you put it in the Amazon jungle, it's not, right? So whatever the setting of the home is will be its acclimating surrounding though. Okay, so for a joist, we cannot do the same method as we would do for a stud because we do what we call crippling the stud, which is putting a saw cut perpendicular to the length of the board all the way through it, halfway through. Mm-hmm. Not all the way through. That'd be sometimes all the way through if it's really bad. So we can put a saw cut halfway through the board, which weakens the board enough that we can scab another board beside it and bend it straight, or we drive wedges into that saw cut and spread the cut and it actually will draw the board back straight. And, we may cut 3 or 4 cuts in a board or more, depending on how warped it is. And sometimes we have to pull a whole stud out and just replace it. But sometimes you can't do that because by the time it dries and goes crazy, you might have a pipe running through, for like a drain in a sink in a bathroom. You might have 1.5 inch pipe drilled through that one. You might have wiring that goes through it and other things attached to it. And you're like, wow, to take this out, how am I going to drill a hole back in this board and get that pipe to go through here? Not going to happen. So that's why we end up doing things like that instead of just fully replacing them. But they only bear like vertical weight, really. So the load on the board is different. It is, I don't even know what you call it because I'm not an engineer, but the vertical load bearing
is different
orientation
than the inflection.
Yeah, than the span. Okay, so no, we can't do that because you don't want to cut halfway through a board that is load bearing. The deflection of it would, I mean, you could if you're desperate and it's your own house.
Yeah, and it's already been inspected, and no, don't do that.
It's not a great idea.
If you'd have to do that, put a new post underneath it.
There you go. Somebody asked, why does Jono have a Union Jack on his left arm? Was he born in the UK? And I didn't even know that's what it's called, the Union Jack. That's the like flag for? Is it Great Britain? I don't know. I mean, I'm honestly sound like probably an idiot right now. My world geography is pretty terrible compared to sharpening stuff. So Jono's mom is from there. So his family history, lineage, something in that realm is yes. So the short answer is yes. He does have that tattoo. And he was not born over there, I don't think, though. I think he's born in the U.S.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, okay. Super.
But the Union Jack is the flag for the United Kingdom. It represents the Union, England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland.
So not Great Britain. See, I don't know. Dude, listen, I am so sorry for anybody that...
Jamie doesn't specialize in geography.
You know what's funny is I hated history and all this world history and U.S. history. Like in school, I couldn't stand it, but now I'm a little bit older. I could sit and watch like YouTube, like world history, U.S. history, and I would actually be interested in learning. So that's sad. Okay. Somebody says buy PT Wood and store it for a year. We hit that one already. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading this comment. I took a picture of it, so that means it would have been.
It was relative.
It would have been important here. I'm going to skip on to a shorter one. Okay, I don't know where this came up again. Maybe this was a comment on our last podcast.
Okay.
about using concrete under a shower pan or drywall mud.
Man, that was a while ago.
It was. Well, this comment was recent on one of our last videos.
It was the tiny house. You guys did it under the tiny house shower pan.
Yeah. So Hammer Mike says, y'all are so awesome that I feel compelled to tell you the concrete and drywall mud aren't the best options to set a shower pan or a bathtub. Use bedding mortar. It's made just for setting things like this. So there is a special product that we don't have, that we don't use, that is there. It's probably available anywhere. I guess I'm going to have to go seek it out.
Yeah.
Bedding mortar.
Okay.
Somebody thought we need to make something special for this.
I wonder what's different about it.
It's probably moisture proof resistant. Probably
that'd be a nice thing to have in a shower.
It's probably not concrete based. It's probably not gypsum based. It's probably synthetic maybe. Or, I'm totally making this up. How should I know?
I don't know.
I'm just inclined to just make stuff up.
Well, if you remember, next time you're putting a shower pan in, try to look it up.
Okay.
Do you have one in the next house?
No, you know what I'll do when I buy the pan, I'll say, hey, give me that bedding mortar that goes with it.
And see what they say.
I mean, we've used all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that'll do the job. I use Lexel and shims if you can. You can't always do that, but like a tub.
Would you use a pressure treated shim?
No.
Just checking.
No, but a tub like that has feet on it a lot of times. Maybe it has 4 or 5 little square feet that are fiberglassed in and a little puck of OSB they put on the bottom. You know, if they don't touch the ground or touch the subfloor, you better put a shim in it. Because when you put 70 gallons of water in that thing and then somebody jumps in it, it's not designed to hold the load if it's not directly transferred down through the bottom of the base of the tub.
Yeah.
So be sure it's contacting and some shims with Lexel on both sides. Bloop.
Yeah.
It'll be there forever.
Use something.
Yep.
Bedding mortar would be great.
Yeah. And some people didn't like my joke. Hey, can you pull this up right now?
Yeah.
You don't have to do the audio, but
there you go.
All right? Is that going?
You want me to go backwards? Yeah.
No, you're good.
On
See,
the TV.
I'm chiseling.
It looks worn out.
Yeah, I'm chiseling that joist right there, and I told a great joke because I was whittling the wood with my chisel, and I said that the best way to do it is just a little bit at a time. And dude, I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty easy to entertain, so some people thought that was funny, and then the rest of the people thought that was the stupidest thing ever. So I guess that's the way it goes.
Well, I mean, I think that's a pretty good dad joke, and you've got thousands of them. That's pretty good. Look at that smile. I'm guessing you just said it.
What's funny is that I actually think it's funny myself. So
that's a good sharp chisel.
Doing
that by hand.
I must have just sharpened that thing. I sharpen something almost every day.
Yeah, I believe it.
It is a daily thing. If you're doing anything with tools like a chisel or a hand plane or a knife, a pocket knife, like I sharpen them every day because I want it to work good. And when, there you go.
Okay.
All right, we're getting to the end here. I promise.
I don't care.
Well,
we're going to go a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time. All right. So
we should just do an episode just on dad jokes.
Well,
but the problem is they just come so naturally to sit around and actually think about them and write them down. It wouldn't happen. It
would kill the moment. They happen in the moment.
You and Jason doing a dad joke like standoff, firing them back and forth. That'd be pretty funny. Actually, kind of like when you guys ragged on me and Ben for not knowing anything about construction.
Well, that was funny.
You should start a podcast.
Well, don't be offended by what Jason says.
Oh, well, I think you were right in the middle of that. It's not just Jason. You were egging him on.
Well, don't be offended by what I say.
It's all good.
I
don't know anything about construction.
Quit being so easily
offended. I know
offended.
more about construction than you do finance. I can tell you that.
That's why you're my financial advisor.
Yeah. I'm not, by the way, just so everybody knows.
No, he's not. We're just buddies. Yeah. We're buddies I'll tell you what we are. We're buddies that are happy for each other when something good happens.
Amen.
For the other one.
Amen. I will say that for sure. That's rare in this world.
When somebody's...
We're more than just buddies.
Well, yeah. If
we'll give the history someday.
Yeah, well, we should do that. Tell people how we met and everything.
What were you going to say? If somebody what?
I was just going to say, if somebody's successful, I celebrate, for anybody that's, hey, you did great. Awesome. I'm happy for you. I'll give you a good example. I was at the bank the other day picking up a check from the bank for the job I'm working on. There's this lady, I don't know her. She pulls up in a beautiful convertible white Audi. She jumps out of her car. She's going in the bank. I said, hey, I really like your car. She says, thank you. And she stopped. She says, it was a lot of long, hard years where I worked really hard to have this car. And, you know, all that. And I said, I believe you. I believe you. I said, and I'm happy for you. Listen, I don't know you, but I'm happy for you. You got your thing that you wanted and you're doing good. Super. Have a great day. That's my story. All right. We're going to move on here.
And little did she know who she was talking to.
Well, she might've been somebody that she was like, oh, that kid doesn't know who I'm talking to. Who she, me.
True. That's very true.
Whatever. I just called myself a kid, but,
I mean, you are to me too.
I appreciate that. All right. I'm going to hit another comment or two from our last podcast where we're talking about lighting in the shop. And I'm having problems with my lighting. I got to replace my lighting. I don't know what to do. I'm in the dark.
Yeah, both of us are. You witnessed mine yesterday.
Yeah, it's terrible. So somebody says, work with obsessed garage guys who sort out your shop lighting with Cree lighting, CREE lighting. Watch the Helen House garage videos. So I don't know what that is, but I am looking for a good LED light, shop light type thing. So Cree is a brand that I don't know. And I don't know if there's, different levels of like quality. I'm surely there are, of course. And I just don't want lights that are going to just last a little while and then burn out because the light it's not replaceable bulbs. In the ones that I have, the actual fixture is dead, right? So then it's kind of a bigger deal.
Yep.
So I still need and look at that, the hexagon shape thing.
Yeah, this is what we need. So if anybody's out there and knows anybody that wants to sponsor Let Jaime Talk, and Jamie and I, we both need this.
We need lighting everywhere. Dimmable.
Look at how expensive it is, though.
Hexagon. Yeah, but if that is the whole unit of lights, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's based on the grid size. But what happens if one... So what do I have? How big's my garage, Jamie?
24 by 26.
Do you know why Jamie knows that, y'all?
I want to build one.
Yeah.
Exactly like it.
20.
Well, and these look cool, too. Like, I started replacing...
Oh, they look amazing. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, they are. And I wonder if one goes out...
2100. Yeah, that's the key.
Can you just pull the one without... Because, like, they're interconnected in some way. And that's what I'm worried about. Is, like, how big of a pain is it going to be when one dims out?
That is... Somebody's got their jet.
Nice.
That's a heck of a... Look at all the lights.
If your garage is an airplane hangar, dang, way to go.
I'm happy for you.
Okay, so
right?
Is that the brand, though, that we just said?
No,
or is that some other brand?
This is something I picked up because
okay.
Because it was attractive in hexagon lights.
I don't know if it's is as simple as expensive lights are good and cheap lights are bad. I don't know if that is the equation that we're dealing with or not. But, okay. All right, I'm going to answer another question of a comment. Sort of that we asked a question and somebody responded in the comments. We were talking about European doors and they were like, why don't y'all use European doors? And I'm like, I ain't never heard of European doors. And so somebody explained, every generic door in Europe that I saw has a pin in the frame and a socket on the door that you screw and hang them on the door. Every door can also just be lifted upward and carried away. No need to unscrew anything when you need to remove the door. So I'm imagining kind of like my Jeep door, the little, you open it and you just lift it straight up. It comes off the pins. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Now that may just be the hinge style. So maybe that's a European hinge style. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything special about the door itself or there's more to be learned. At any rate, that is handy sounding because the door is not going to go up. No. You got gravity, you got friction, you got that stiction friction. What did you say the other day?
Oh, gosh.
I don't know.
We were talking about boards pinching.
I was just making fun. But yeah. So.
Stick and friction? I don't remember. Stiction. I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. And then some other very kind people that are automotively talented have been trying to help me troubleshoot the problem with my truck or the fan for the blower and the air conditioner stays on even after the key is removed. And there's two possible things. It's coming down to a bad ignition switch, which is potentially not related to the tumbler and the actual key itself in the sense that I would have to get it rekeyed, but the actual power on allows accessories to have access to power. That part could be bad. Or a relay. And I don't know what a relay is, but I think it might be in there with the fuse box. They look like fuses, but they're bigger.
Yep. But it's not going to be in there with the fuse box, but yes.
I don't know.
Have a different box.
If failing in the process of failing one of those. So I don't know yet. We're working on it.
It's going to take some time and you don't have any of that.
Yep. Somebody has asked here, another comment, whatever happened to the safe room in the basement of the mega build? Did that change with Brock's passing? Now, Brock had this big room that was concreted under the garage. It's like a safe room, as in like a vault type of safe, because he was a hunter and a gun collector for, hey, there's Brett on the video. He had a large gun collection. He would go out on all these hunting trips and places. That was going to be his gun vault. And I don't know if all of his guns are going to go there now or not. I don't know what the purpose of this room will be now. But I will say this. I got to give a plug for Santa Fe dehumidifiers. I just received a pallet at my place that has the dehumidifier for that space. And I let my heat and air guy go ahead and have the kit where it's a wall mounted thing. So this is something new to me, and I haven't even seen this thing out of the box yet, but it's a dehumidifier that mounts on the wall. And it's very small. It looks nice.
You just drill a drain outside?
This one is going to drain into a HVAC condensate drain pump. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but it's a little pump that the water, the condensation goes into. It pumps it out of tube outside, so it doesn't have to gravity drain. At any rate, I'm excited about that because it's all concrete down there. It's in the basement. There is air conditioning and all that. But the problem sometimes is that air conditioning doesn't run enough in a basement to remove moisture because the temperature is so acclimated. It's like you don't need tons of heating and cooling typically in a basement because the ground temperature is close to what the temperature you want is. And so if the AC is not running enough to dehumidify, you do need a dehumidifier. And actually the dehumidifier will generate a little bit of heat and therefore cause the air conditioner to kick on, which will also increase the dehumidifying action of that system. So it's actually a kind of a good thing. So that's going in, and then I'm going to be putting one in my shop too. I have a dehumidifier to put in my wood shop and in my basement and in my wood storage area. Because even kiln dried wood that I've bought,
for sure,
it sits in my basement, which is not humidity controlled currently.
It's not temperature controlled either.
It's not. It's just nice down there all the time. No heating and air, no heaters, no nothing. No. So I am excited to install that. So anyway, check out Santa Fe dehumidifiers if you're serious about getting your dehumidification taken care of.
Is this the same one that we've used? We put one in the crawl space at Hazel.
Yep.
Which sucked the whole house dry.
It did.
Holy moly.
And it exposed my mistake of not double kiln drying my wood that we had. And it was the perfect storm for this wood to take on moisture, though. The guy that I had mill it into the flooring, I stored this wood for like 5 years in my shop, which is not humidity or temperature controlled. Okay, it sits there 5 years, taking on moisture.
After being kiln dry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I took it to his shop, and he was supposed to take it from delivery to in his shop. He didn't. He left it under a tarp outside for months in the rain. It was covered by a tarp. It was just pouring rain out there. I went there. Every time it would rain hard, I'd be thinking about that wood. And then I would go out there sometimes, and it's still there. And I'm just out there in the pouring rain.
Now we have gappy floors.
And now, we had a moisture issue in that house. The floor was already done, and we installed it. And then we got the moisture under control, and I got some big gaps in the floor now. And it's my stupid fault for putting in wood that wasn't dry.
Yeah, we'll do a Hazel House walkthrough at some point, and we'll show everybody the floors. Let me just say, Jamie's not perfect. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Jamie's far from perfect.
Perfectly imperfect.
I hate to. Oh, look at that planer. See where it's all. Hey, pause it. Can you pause that?
Hold on, I can't.
So I'm sorry. I'm asking Brett to do all the technical stuff here.
All right. Well, there's a Makita one. So this is on now over here.
I'm looking at the. Okay. You got to rewind it a tiny bit.
Yeah,
get to where you see the bottom of that other one. Yeah. Okay. Hit pause right there. Can you pause? Okay. Wow. Oh, that's the best picture of the wood getting stuck under the blade. And that's right bad. So yes. So bad.
Look at that blade. Holy moly.
It is what we call janked up. And you can see the damage on the infeed table part of that thing where, definitely there's evidence in the same area of me hitting something really bad. So that one is pretty well destroyed. But I have new knives and a new set of keepers to put on that machine, and hopefully it'll be restored. I was also going to point out on the left.
The gear.
Okay, you see that?
Oh my gosh!
All right, you see where the base plate is all, or the part looks like a grinder. chewed all that off. A grinder did chew all that off, and I did it on purpose because I wanted to have a better depth of. That's fine. You can let it roll now, but I wanted to have a better depth of cut with the machine. And the little plastic part of the base was getting in the way of the being able to chew down into a trough better, and cut deep into a place. So I just modified it. It works good.
Nothing to see here except for the inside of it. Look at that brand new Makita. That's not on TV, I guess.
Okay, no, that's all right. Okay, well, hopefully this hadn't been too confusing for everybody, but that's all the comments I got to answer, and I think we're gonna wrap it up here because we hit a bunch of different things that I didn't plan on. But
that's the point.
Everything,
that's on right now. So okay. That's a brand new one, right?
It is
fresh out of the box.
It is. That's a little blurred. That shot in the video.
What kind of blades?
Okay. Well, yeah.
Ooh,
there we go.
There we go.
That's a good shot. Okay. That's up right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This one, even though I bought the planer that has carbide insert blades,
comes with it.
I didn't want that. That's the only way it was available. But luckily the design of this head has the capability to accommodate both types of blades. So I bought the extra high-speed steel regular blades, and it also can accept, but it has a holder for the carbide blade that is the same shape and size as the big thicker steel blade.
Gotcha.
So that's a little unit in there that fits in there, and I like that versus some of the other ones. Like Jason has a battery-powered DeWalt that has the tiny carbide blades, but that's the only type of blade they will accept.
Gotcha.
So that's not as diverse. It's not as good for me because I like to be able to switch it out, sharpen them up myself. And if I'm using this thing hard every day, I would sharpen the blades every day for a week. If that's what I'm doing for a week, it's just so much nicer.
Yeah.
When it cuts and it's beautiful.
I mean, dull tools are no fun.
Dull tools are awful.
Yeah.
Dull tools.
They'll just frustrate you unnecessarily.
That's right. Okay, well, I don't know where we're headed for next week. If we're going to find some more interesting comments on the channel.
I'm sure the nice thing about the job right now is it's like boom, boom, boom. There's a lot going on. I mean, well, there's been a lot going on, but there's been a lot going on without you on the job site. Now, you guys are there every day, and it's moving.
It's going great.
Yeah.
It's going great. I'm very excited to see the progress, and I'm sure my homeowner is too.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yep.
At what point do you start looking to the next job? So, I mean, I know that you're always looking at getting the next job, but like you're now interior, starting to work on some finished work in the house. None of that's been on video yet, but you're starting there. So when do you start thinking about the next house?
Well, I've already been thinking about it for months is the answer.
I mean,
and I'll tell you
thinking about it though. Are you like getting close to thinking about it? Like really?
Oh, I'm already past getting close to thinking about it. I've already met on site several times with my homeowner.
Cool.
My next homeowner, and I'm actually considering subbing out the entire foundation, concrete, digging footings.
You just got an excavator.
I know. You're
not even going to get to play with it.
And the concrete walls is probably going to pour concrete walls, formed and poured. And I have a buddy that just recently got back into the concrete business, and he bought all brand new forms. And that's a big deal because they're clean and straight, not banged up. They will make a beautiful.
Is it a basement?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've already, and also the guy that's doing the majority of the site work excavation, because that's a different guy. So yeah, things are actively happening.
Cool.
We're already, about ready to order windows. We're working with with that stuff. The truss plans, we're working on that, and I'm actually inputting this design into SketchUp so that I can see it for myself and I can pull any measurement from any direction to any other place that I want.
Cool.
And show anybody on my crew, or on the videos, any detail that I want to describe. I can have a 3D model of it that I can show. So I'm working on that. So yeah, I'm way deep into this thing.
Cool. I actually didn't know the answer to that.
Yep.
I mean, I knew you've been talking about it and doing some stuff, but I did not know that you were that deep yet.
I am that deep. And even the job after that, potentially, and one or two after that, I've already, been doing site visits, been communicating with people. You can't wait until you're done with one to think about starting another one unless you just don't have one. But for us, we have a backlog, and it is... I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to be able to do what you're doing currently and also be planning for all the future stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a couple of years ago, you guys did more than one house at a time for like maybe 1 year. And then you and Eric were like, nope, not doing that again. I mean, you guys could split. You guys, the two of you could split up, but it's just not worth it.
But we can't make good YouTube videos if we do it that way.
True.
Having all my crew on one job, that's how we do good videos, I think.
Yeah.
And doing custom homes, it's so hard doing custom homes and keeping everything running right and keeping all of the things that homeowner wants at the forefront of what you're doing. If you're doing spec building or building the same house over and over, maybe in a neighborhood that has,
sure,
you could definitely do multiples. You just have a train of staging of people and processes, but the way that we do it, it's just not possible that way.
Yeah. I got one more question.
All right.
Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Is it normal to drill a well first or after? And Eric brought up in one of the episodes that somebody had to destroy. They drilled 4 wells, 800 feet each, and were dry, every one. And they actually had pre-built 8 homes, and they basically said these homes are worthless and bulldozed them.
That's right.
Holy moly, that's insane. Somebody lost their job over that.
So what do we promote? We promote find property, drill a well, get water.
First, get up there and drill a well.
If you're in a remote area, which almost all the homes that we build, and there's no alternative, there's no city water, there's no neighbor with water. It is 100% dependent on you getting your own well, buy that property, drill the well, or buy one that already has a well, even better, before you spend any more time and effort into that property.
Yeah. It's just part of the due diligence, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a risk.
Yeah.
That is a risk. I mean, right now we have a near completed house and no well.
Yeah. But there is a house. I mean, there's water.
There is water on the mountain. So they have.
Yeah. I mean, they're not, they own other property on the mountain, so they're not familiar with it.
Yes. Now,
but still.
The best option is for this well that's going to get drilled in a couple of weeks to hit water.
Amen.
And if it doesn't, then they have options down the hill though, and it's a long way down.
It is.
So I don't know about that, but we're just got our fingers crossed that we're going to hit good water, good supply.
Yeah.
And so drill a well if you can first.
Yeah. But Brock wasn't he wasn't unfamiliar with this whole process, so he understood what he was doing when he did it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, that's my only other question. But
okay.
Just trying to, I'm trying to learn every time we're here too. So
so am I. So thank you to everybody again who has helped us to make this video by commenting and answering and asking questions. We're going to wrap it up for now. We'll see you next week. Be curious, and if you don't know, just ask.
Thanks, guys.